My name's Tom Owen, an actor for 43 years. Have to say son of Bill Owen. Very glad to be the son of Bill Owen. And my dad and I are in the same television series, Last of the Summer Wine. Well, I actually had very little input. I did know that it was going to happen. The guest list was drawn up by his widow, Kathy. And I think it summarised what the man was. They weren't all show business people. I would say that probably 50% were just ordinary kind of people. Whether the audience felt happy with that, I don't know. The show seemed to go very well. But I knew Bill was happy, and he enjoyed it very, very much. I mean, anybody would. We're all human beings. We all have our egos, and the egos have to be massaged. And he was flying high that night. And I remember we all went out for a great meal after the show at the Royalty. And he was with the people that he loved. And you kind of thought, this is his evening, this is his night. And he loved every second. As soon as that camera went off, he just loved being with people that had been so much a part of his life. Bill was shy. This is one of his, if you like, problems, but only a problem in as much that he was very defensive of his position in a job, if you like, that really demanded the utmost, how wonderful, darling, and all this kind of rubbish. And he couldn't do that. He was a fine actor, one of the greatest comic actors, not a comedian, a comic actor that this country has ever produced. And he had to fight, just like Buster Keaton did, he had to fight his shyness. He wasn't happy in the show business environment. I would have loved him to be alive now, and This Is Your Life to be going now, so we could have a little bit more of his career. But the reason he was on This Is Your Life is because of Last of the Summer Wine, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there was so much more to the man, which I tell about in my one-man show. Dear John Metzler, who's now dead, who'd flown over from America to be with him. And when Bill was in As You Like It on Broadway with Katharine Hepburn, this little English actor giving it his all, his reviews were astounding, but he wouldn't just sit on Broadway. He went out, met Professor John Metzler, who introduced him to American kids, and Bill even then started setting up little theatre groups for young American people. He was very close to him. And James Bolam, an actor who Bill always admired, Alan Bates, one of our greatest actors, now sadly gone. I think Alan was on the programme because Bill, Jimmy Bolam and Alan Bates were in a lot of the David Story plays at the Royal Court in the 70s. Bill had a short career in the Carry On films, and I guess if he decided to, he could have been in them now, but he chose not to. But he obviously, and I didn't know anything about this, friendship with Charles Hawtrey. It was great, great to see him. Television history was made, and it hasn't been repeated since, and I would doubt if it will be repeated. For the first time ever, a father's real-life son went into the same series as his character's fictional son. I mean, there were people in the company, cast and crew, that had worked with that man for 27 years, and they were grieving. My feeling is that he could have been a much bigger, if you like, star's not the right word, a much bigger acting personality, maybe is better, than he was. He was his own worst enemy in promoting himself. He just wanted everybody to take him as he was.